Rugby jerseys, folks. It's a pretty happy topic. I like talking about rugby jerseys. There's too much negativity going on, man. Sanzar's debacle at the moment, as I record this, kind of late August 2021. There's still people going on about some of the Lions tour stuff. COVID lockdown here in New Zealand, man. Let's talk about some rugby jerseys. I like rugby jerseys, as you may well know. I'm going to talk about some of the best places to purchase rugby jerseys in New Zealand and around the world. And hopefully this can answer the question, because a lot of people, not every day, not every week, but I will often get comments, bro, where do you get all your jerseys? And it's a good question. So we'll go through some of the stores, what's kind of good and bad about the ones that I have used in the past. And yeah, you guys can let me know. Any other places, do let me know. I'm very curious to know if there's any other shops that I'm not aware of. I will say firstly, though, a lot of the jerseys here were sent to me by very, very generous subscribers. These three that you can see in the video right now, I didn't buy any of them. People were kind enough to send them to me. So yeah, what can I say, man? Like half of the jerseys I've got were sent to me by people. So that accounts for a sizable part of the jerseys that I've got here. Now, we'll also start with some second-hand ones, because in terms of getting bang for your buck, second-hand jerseys is maybe a way to go. And like I've said in the past, like I've never been walking down the street and someone in a second-hand jersey and someone saying to me, man, that jersey would be really nice if it wasn't second-hand. Nobody knows it's second-hand. But obviously you do take a little bit of risk. So I'll talk about TradeMe firstly. Now, I don't know how many TradeMe sellers ship internationally. I would have thought very few. It's New Zealand's eBay, basically. I've bought loads of jerseys on TradeMe. They're usually relatively cheap. I've bought, and you can get some random stuff, man. Like I bought Russia. Like there's no way you can find, at least I can't, not on English websites. I can't find Russia anywhere, but I managed to find a Russian jersey on TradeMe. I managed to find a Japan jersey on TradeMe. Yeah, you can just find some of the most kind of random stuff on TradeMe. It's cheap usually. The shipping for us here in New Zealand is pretty good because we're local. You do take the risk, there's a few fakes floating around on TradeMe, and sometimes, man, you just don't get the size right. Like, I love this old Sharks jersey. This is proper old school, but like this XL, man, is tiny. I can't wear it, so you take a risk. I guess you could send it back, but I don't mind hanging it in the background every now and again. So TradeMe is one, especially for you folks in New Zealand. Plenty of bargains on there. eBay is one that I don't use too much, because generally the shipping to New Zealand is often worth more than the bloody jersey. So you find a bargain, but then when you look at the shipping, plus eBay adds GST, which is like a tax to here in New Zealand, and some of them have some kind of import tax if they're part of one of eBay's shipping schemes. So it can add up if you're buying from eBay, at least here in New Zealand. The rest of the world, you guys may be able to get some bargains the same way we can get them on TradeMe here. Like I bought this Waratahs jersey off TradeMe. It's in great nick, so I really like that one. And I found like a Munster jersey, but again, same risks apply. If you see anything on eBay which is new and says it's from China, it's fake. Definitely fake. There's nobody sitting around in China selling secondhand like used jerseys. Nah, they're all fake. Like I bought this Munster jersey from eBay, and it looked in great nick. In the pictures, same deal with TradeMe. Like sometimes the pictures don't do it justice, but I put this thing through the washing machine once, and like half of the Toyota stuff like fell off the bloody thing. So this Munster jersey, whilst nice, has kind of seen better days. So sometimes, generally, the pictures on secondhand jerseys look better than the actual one is. Sometimes they'll be in slightly worse nick, but again, unless you get really close, often you wouldn't notice. But kind of just keep that in mind. The main shop over here in New Zealand is Rebel Sport. I think you guys have Rebel Sport in Australia as well. I generally don't buy much at Rebel Sport because they're expensive. The one thing I do like is I can go in and try it on, which is nice. Like I got this All Blacks 2019 Rugby World Cup jersey. I got that one in Rebel Sport. They were having a clearance. Usually their clearances aren't that great. Usually you can find cheaper. You can definitely find cheaper, but Rebel Sport is one of them. They do have a lot of New Zealand gear, if nothing else. I'm not sure if they ship internationally or not. The first store I used, because Rebel Sport were too expensive, outside New Zealand, this is before I had a YouTube channel, 2015, I bought this Blues jersey from Pro Direct Sports or Pro Direct Rugby. Like, this was cheaper to get it shipped from the UK than to buy it locally, which just seems stupid. Their selection's pretty good. They got some good, specials. Full price is obviously pretty high, so I would look in the sales section if it was me. Never had any problems with it, but haven't ordered a lot from Pro Direct Rugby, but that's one. Rugby Store UK, I don't think I've ever bought from, but people have sent me loads of jerseys from Rugby Store UK. And they also have a pretty good selection, seemingly, and they have good sales on. The full price, again, is pretty high. I think it's maybe higher. Is it higher or lower than Pro Direct? I can't remember, but Rugby Store UK is... yes, it's pretty good. I think sometimes their website has issues with like no item found. Like you'll filter by a team, like it'll be like Pro 14 teams, show me Ulster, and it'll just be like no products found. So yeah, the website's sometimes a little bit out of date, but yeah, they look pretty good. Another one in New Zealand is actually Champions of the World. I forgot to mention this one. Champions of the World only sells New Zealand gear, but they've got some pretty specific gear. I think they do ship internationally. Their clearance is always one to look out for. Like, I got this big bloody Hurricanes stadium jacket for pretty cheap. Again, end of season stuff. They didn't have any Blues gear left, so I ended up with Hurricanes. Check it out. It's the clearance section. They got some pretty specific stuff that you may not find in other stores. They maybe should be called former Champions of the World at this point, but yeah, Champions of the World is a good one. They're local for me, so I can go try stuff on as well, which is always nice. What other stores did we have? There's one really cool one that I want to get to, but I'm not there yet. Lovell Rugby is a pretty good one. They've probably got the best selection out of any store. Like, I got Leicester from Lovell Rugby. I got, like, there's French teams, they got Super Rugby teams, stuff I say, right? I got heaps of jerseys from Lovell just because their selection is really good. They ship via DHL, and that's quick. It's by far the quickest shipping of any of the companies I've used. But they don't combine the shipping. I don't think they have necessarily all the stock in one warehouse. So, like, if you're here in New Zealand, the shipping is always the killer. If you guys in the UK, it's probably fine. Or Europe, but the shipping to New Zealand is a killer because you pay shipping per item. It's not like they combine it. I've shipped a couple of items in one order from them once, and sure enough, they came in like separate packages. Sometimes, like, they must ship from different warehouses. So yeah, Lovell's got a huge selection, good sales section, but yeah, the shipping's a bit of a killer. But like I said, it is really fast because it's DHL. The other one I wanted to talk about is Rugby Heaven. Rugby Heaven is like my favorite one to go and look through. Rugby Heaven. Like, I got this Springboks Rugby World Cup jersey, genuine one. Had it customized as well. From Rugby Heaven, like in their clearance section. After the World Cup, it was like the only store that had South African. I think they've still got the bloody things. They've got like the oldest jerseys. They just don't, if they don't sell them, they just keep it. They just keep it until some bugger buys it. Like, if you're looking for hard to find jerseys, teams from like almost maybe 10 years ago sometimes, they've got new jerseys for relatively cheap. Again, also they combine shipping, which is fantastic. They combine their shipping. So if you get one package and put them all together, they'll ship it for you, which is, for us in New Zealand, that's fantastic. So yeah, Rugby Heaven, man, just, you can lose yourself on their site with all the sale stuff, jackets and caps and jerseys. Their website is slow. It's the only thing I don't like about their site. Like, yeah, their website does load really slowly, at least for me. So, yeah. Anything else? I would say sometimes it's worth checking out the individual teams' website. Like, I got something from the Bulls in South Africa. I ordered directly from their website, the Bulls shop. Yeah, you can sometimes find bargains at the websites of the teams. Like, if you can't find it at a main retailer, check with the actual team. They usually have their own store. Sometimes their store is linked. I think Worcester's store links to Lovell Rugby. So sometimes they are directly connected. But yeah, often they have a bit of excess stock there. Not always the cheapest, but you can get lucky. But Yeah, just see how the shipping goes. There's also World Rugby Shop, which has a great selection. Like, they're the only shop I've seen that have still got Bristol Bears jersey in stock, as I sit here recording this. But again, the price is pretty high. I've worked with them a little bit for affiliate stuff, but not anymore. I've worked with England Rugby Store before. They used to have a really good selection, but they, funnily enough, are really narrowing their product range down to pretty much only England. They used to have a lot more. They used to have heaps of teams, but England Rugby Store pretty much only does England now. Yeah, and also, man, if you see competitions, like if you don't mind Facebook having all your data, or you don't mind giving shops your email address or signing up to their mailing list or whatever the conditions are, like, enter jersey competitions, man. Like, I won this Waratahs one years ago by just entering a competition on Facebook. That's pretty much all I use my Facebook account for, is bloody competitions. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's all the ones I had written down. Secondhand is TradeMe and eBay. Lovell Rugby, Pro Direct Rugby, UK Rugby Store UK, Champions of the World and Rebel Sport here in New Zealand. Rugby Heaven is probably my favourite one. Again, I should have mentioned at the start, I'm not affiliated with any of these stores. I'm not getting any kickbacks on any of this. Just genuine sharing the rugby love. Yeah, and search the team sites like the Bulls, like the Blues, like, you know, whoever the team is you're interested in. Check their website out. They may have their stores. Some teams only sell via their store directly. Some don't sell to a proper retailer. They just do it all in house. But yeah, World Rugby Shop, England Rugby Store, Champions of the World, Rugby Heaven. But yeah, hopefully that's a bit of fun, guys. You can find loads of rugby gear. As I mentioned, Rugby Heaven is my favorite one to kind of browse through. Lovell Rugby's got a huge selection. eBay is fun, but as I mentioned, be careful with some of the fake stuff. Likewise, TradeMe here in New Zealand, there can be a bit of fake stuff out there. Anything off Wish is fake. AliExpress stuff is fake. Fakes are a mixed bag. You can get good ones, you can get rubbish ones, but I would generally just go with a second-hand eBay one rather than a new fake one, just for mine, but each their own. But yeah, if you guys know any other rugby stores or online shops or whatever that sell, there are other ones that I haven't mentioned, but if you do know any others, do drop them in the comments. I'll be happy to check them out and have a look to see what other kind of bargains are out there. I did kind of take this video from the aspect of looking for bargains, because I tend to not want to pay full price for stuff, which I maybe should have mentioned at the start as well. Full price is generally pretty horrendous, but anyway. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hopefully it was a bit of a fun one, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.